Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Coach JC. Everyone gather around. Should be a good one today. Today's topic is ways to get your ex back. What are some ways to get your ex back? In the last video, we was talking about ways to get over your ex. So, what about if you want your ex back? What are some things you need to do so you can obtain that? For starters, you gotta know your why. You gotta know your why. Why do you want this person to come back in your life? Why do you want get back with your ex? Some people want to get back for convenience wise. Some people want to get back for, you know, don't want to be by themselves. Don't want to be lonely. Don't want to be with anybody else. So everybody's why is different. You gotta really identify what your why is. And one way also to get your ex back is basically go no contact. No contact means you're not talking to the person. The person is almost figuratively dead to you at that moment. Meaning, there's no contact, there's no checking in, there's no following that person. The person is really deceased in your mind because you're so focused on what you got to do. And also, too, focusing on your goals, focusing on your vision. You know what I'm saying? Even though you should always be focused on that regardless, but really just tuning in on your goals, your aspiration, like going to the gym, focusing on your career goals, your passion, your profession, bossing up there, going back to school or learning a trade or, learning learning new skill sets, being the best version of yourself while you're going no contact. You know what I'm saying? Because it may be going 2, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and you're out there being consistently in the gym, you're consistently studying, consistently staying focused on your craft, staying focused on your vision, staying focused on your purpose. And like I said, you never know. Like I said, that person that you broke up with you or the person that you broke up with, they might, give you a little text here and there, like, hey, how's it going? And guess what? That's when you seize that you take the opportunity to be like, hey, all is well, doing good, doing this, doing that. The worst thing you can do trying to get your ex back is overly pursue the person. Meaning continue to call the person, continue to take the person, continue to follow the person, continue to have the person in your mind frame. You gotta stay focused, you gotta stay productive to get your ex back. You know what I'm saying? Get your ex back. I know for me personally, I never really cared for all that because like I said, once the ship has sailed, once the bus left the bus stop, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, everybody got their reason why they want to get their ex back. And like I said, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's conveniency, comfortability, and also too, like going back to your why, it's kind of like what this person's about, it's like that's why I say comparing it to somebody else. You already know what the experience is like. You know what I'm saying? The ins and outs of the person, the good, the bad, the ugly, family history, work history, daily habits. You kind of already know what the person is already about, unless they, transform themselves and boss up themselves too. But you got to know this person. So, it all depends on what you want, what your end goal is. Like I said, it's not it's not easy to far like I said, to break up and try to get back with your ex. But you really just have to boss up and continue to do your purpose. Do what the guy created you to be when you're out here dating and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, gotta do what God wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, date other people, see what's out there. Explore the explore the dating scene. That's one thing that will help you out in the long run. You gotta date different people, see different background, different perspectives, and see like, hey, why do I want my ex back? I kind of do I want to go back to that comfort zone what I'm used to, or do I want to kind of get out a little bit? Do I want to kind of get out that zone? A lot of times we just want to get an ex back because hey, we're just comfortable, it's convenient. It's just kind of like getting a new job. Kind of like a job. You've been sitting in your job for 2, 3 years. Like, yeah, I wanna get another job, or you get a new job. Like, it's okay. Do I really want to get a new job? Do I be around new coworkers, new bosses, or do I want to stay in the same situation I'm at? Not growing, not learning. So it all depends. Everybody's end goal is different. Some people want that conveniency. Some people like different challenges and stuff, getting around different people and stuff, different situations. So it all depends on the person, you know, honestly, you know what I mean? But you gotta know your why, understanding that, hey, you know, if you do get back with a person, how are you gonna be a better person? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, how are you gonna be this person so that whatever y'all did or didn't do to break up, that doesn't occur again? You know, there's people that do, you know, that do go astray for 3-4 months, 2 years to come back together, and things just, you know, they work out. And there's some people that go astray, go distance, come back, and it's even worse. So, you know, like I said, you got to figure out what works for you and go for it with that. But yeah, though, that's all I really got to say about the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Coach JC, I'm out. Until next time, I'm out. Coach JC.